What's been your reaction as people say, he's slipping in the draft, blah, 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 blah.
They just hate it. They dislike Coach Prime and what he has done for Colorado. So, and they're trying to take shots at us. They played underneath them. But that's just all it is. They're just hating on us, trying to take shots at us. So, we just did it, just ignore it. We don't care about it. I just talked to him like 2 days ago about it.
What do you know about that system with Jacksonville?
All right, you good. My bad. I was hoping that was Shedeur.
Travis Hunter is not holding back. In the aftermath of Shedeur Sanders being passed over in both the first and second rounds of the NFL draft, Hunter is making waves by calling out what he believes is a deeper issue, a bias against players connected to Deion Coach Prime Sanders. He's pointing fingers directly at NFL owners, suggesting that Shedeur's draft slide wasn't about talent or performance, but about perception. To Travis, it's clear that Shedeur's association with his father made teams uncomfortable, not because it hurt his game, but because it challenged the NFL's expectations. And it doesn't end there. Travis says he's felt the same resistance. As one of Coach Prime's most celebrated pupils, he believes there's an unspoken prejudice surrounding players who come out of Deion Sanders' program. It's not just about evaluating skill, it's about dismissing greatness because of where it comes from.
What do you think of Travis Hunter playing both receiver and DB at Colorado? Do you think it's feasible in the league, or do you think it's...
No, hell no. You know that. A little. I mean, you're talking about a few plays here and there, but we're not playing 50 snaps on offense and 55 snaps on defense. I think he goes as a corner just because of what we talked about earlier. Like receivers his size, he's not a special size, and I don't see him as like a super dynamic.
Travis Hunter has been a lifelong friend and teammate of Shedeur Sanders, and their bond goes far beyond just sharing the field. During their college careers at the University of Colorado, the two didn't just play, they dominated. Together, they brought a spotlight to the program that hadn't been seen in years, drawing national attention with their performances, leadership, and undeniable talent. Their connection on the field was electric. Shedeur commanded the offense with poise and precision, and Travis did it all, locking down top receivers on defense and making highlight plays on offense. They weren't just standouts, they were game changers. Their impact was so profound that the University of Colorado made a historic decision. Both of their jersey numbers were retired, a rare honor that spoke volumes about the legacy they left behind. It wasn't just about stats or wins, it was about the cultural shift they sparked, the energy they brought, and the example they set for what belief, work ethic, and confidence can achieve.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for legendary number 2, Deion Sanders. Give it up for one of one, number 12, Hunter.
But then came the NFL Draft, a moment that was supposed to be the culmination of everything Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders had worked for. Travis was selected second overall by the Jacksonville Jaguars, a historic pick that solidified his place as one of the most versatile and gifted athletes in recent memory. But while Travis was celebrating, something didn't sit right. Shedeur Sanders, despite his record-breaking college career, leadership, and NFL-ready skill set, was pushed down the board. Not because of his ability, but because of his last name. The whispers about bias against him for being Deion Sanders' son suddenly felt louder, more real, and more personal. Even in the middle of his own press conference, a moment meant to be about his achievement, Travis couldn't hide his frustration. Travis didn't hold back. He expressed his frustration loud and clear, calling out franchise owners for deliberately overlooking Shedeur. In his eyes, this wasn't about scouting reports or game film, it was about politics, legacy, and an intentional attempt to undermine Deion Sanders and those who come from his system.
I'm also still trying to make sure I don't miss Shedeur, get his name called, because I want to be on the phone and I also want to talk to him. So I'm trying to hurry up as fast as I can.
Because Jacksonville, we can help you on it.
All right, you good. My bad. I was hoping that was Shedeur.
We were too.
He made it clear that being Coach Prime's son and pupil had worked against Shedeur, not because of a lack of skill, but because of how threatening that legacy has become to the NFL establishment. Travis believes it was a calculated move, an intimidation tactic, meant to provoke a reaction from Deion and his players, to paint them as the problem, as if their confidence and excellence somehow disrupted the league's comfort zone. To Travis, this wasn't just a snub. It was a message, one that he's now more determined than ever to answer on the field. And if history tells us anything about him and Shedeur, it's that they don't just respond, they rise.
I know there's a lot of rumors about the next level, and I can't see that. Yeah. I can't see the next level, and I think a couple people who may have taken shots at my kids, they were afraid that I would go. That's where the shots came from. All you got to do is just sit back and listen. People don't want to do that. They want to create these narratives and create these stories and then attach them to a kid that ain't never done nothing wrong.
Deion didn't mince words. He made it clear that the criticism had little to do with Shedeur's talent, attitude, or behavior, and everything to do with his last name. In Deion's eyes, Shedeur had done nothing but prove himself. As a leader, as a performer, and as a professional both on and off the field. What spirit till ear upper wretch in your body long? Travis, still, the doubts persisted, the narrative spread, and the draft day disrespect became a glaring symbol of something deeper. Well, what nofing was nothing but no, but the law in which to expecting about. For Deion, this has moved beyond football. It's personal now. He sees the treatment of Shedeur as part of a larger issue, a reflection of bias and resentment, not toward what his son lacks, but toward what he represents. Shedeur is the embodiment of everything Deion has built: confidence, excellence, and the breaking of molds. And that, according to Coach Prime, has made people uncomfortable. The message from Deion was clear. If they thought they could silence or diminish his son by pushing him down the draft board, they were mistaken. This isn't the end of the story. It's just the start of a new chapter, one fueled by fire, focus, and something to prove. To minished word one in the form back in Vej, the Smell Jackson sign was a described idalent, and the Inkri and Mion for Sisdom in whether brothers to some of Liss. Shedeur Sanders, on the other hand, chose a completely different approach.
I know there's a lot of rumors about the next level, and I can't see that. Yeah. I can't see the next level, and I think a couple people who may have taken shots at my kids, they were afraid that I would go. That's where the shots came from. All you got to do is just sit back and listen. People don't want to do that. They want to create these narratives and create these stories and then attach them to a kid that ain't never done nothing wrong.
Yeah. How does that make you feel when you see your colleagues are...
For Shedeur, the only stage that matters is the football field. That's where he plans to speak, through performance, leadership, and results. He didn't fire back at critics or get caught up in the noise. Instead, he pointed out a simple truth. The people who doubted him, who questioned his abilities or his character, don't even know him. It wasn't arrogance, it was confidence. A quiet, grounded kind of confidence that comes from someone who's been under the spotlight his whole life and knows exactly how to handle pressure. Shedeur isn't chasing validation through headlines or draft positions, he's chasing it through wins, stats, and moments that speak louder than any narrative ever could.
Going in on you, man, like how does that make you feel?
No idea, man. You have no idea. We've always been in front of the camera, so they know how to navigate, they know how to handle themselves. Yeah. And you're not gonna catch them in no foolery and no mess. You're not, when you sit up there and say something like he went in a meeting unprepared, like, dude, Shedeur Sanders, who's had 6 different coordinators, who has still functioned and went up, leveled up every time we brought somebody new in, and you're gonna tell me he was
every situation.
While others talked, Shedeur stayed locked in, ready to let his game do all the talking. And now, after OTA's blockbuster performances, he is set to start for the Cleveland Browns. Travis Hunter sees Shedeur Sanders not being drafted in the first 3 rounds as more than just an oversight. He sees it as a deliberate slight rooted in bias. To him, Shedeur had proven everything necessary on the field: elite talent, leadership, and consistency under pressure. Yet instead of being recognized, he was pushed aside. And Travis believes that was because of who Shedeur is: the son of Deion Sanders and a product of a system that many in the NFL aren't ready to embrace. For Travis, it's frustrating and personal. He knows Shedeur better than most, not just as a teammate, but as a brother. Watching one of the best quarterbacks in the draft get disrespected didn't sit right with him, and he sees it as a challenge not just for Shedeur, but for everyone connected to Coach Prime. In his eyes, the league made a mistake, one that won't be forgotten. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Travis Hunter that Shedeur Sanders was unfairly overlooked in the first 3 rounds because of his connection to Deion Sanders? Or do you believe the draft process was fair and based purely on talent and team needs? And looking ahead, do you think Shedeur and Travis will make the same kind of impact in the NFL as they did in college? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Let's get the conversation started. Who do you think got it right in this controversy? And will these 2 stars shine at the next level?